You now tune into Philly Fame TV. It's your boy Still, you know. I know a lot of y'all, I think y'all was gonna see me again, but you know, I'm back like I never left. Ben Rich Records.
Philly Fame. Philly Fame. Alright, so still a dime, know what I mean? Like you said, a lot of people thought they weren't going to see you. You've been going for a nice little minute, but you back. Know what I mean? Due to a little situation in your case that allowed you, know what I mean, by blessings of God above, to get back out here on the streets. But before we get to that story on how you got back out here and all that, I want to go from the very beginning. I mean, let's give them a little bit of your story from when you was coming up and all that. We know you as, you know, a member of Too Sick with Magic and all that back in Headshot days. We did an interview with Magic a little minute ago, and he kind of explained his side of, you know, how y'all came together, how he met you and stuff like that. Right, so now that you here, I want to give him your side, like growing up in North and all that, and then how you come to meet Magic, y'all formed Too Sick, and that whole rundown.
All right, well, yeah, I'm from 29th and Thompson, so, you know, I lived around there my whole life, so, you know, I was doing my rap thing way back since I was a youngin', so, you know, Magic moved in the neighborhood when we was, you know, teenagers, and we just linked up. We linked up basically because he was from the block that I used to be on every day. He ended up moving on the block that I was on every day, so we just linked up, and we was tight from almost day one.
Right. So y'all basically formed y'all group. And at some point in time, y'all ended up connecting with Young Bob, Bam, and Headshots. Right. Y'all ended up coming under that umbrella. But prior to that, Magic explained like y'all two at a young age, y'all actually had y'all business together. I mean, y'all had your LLC and all of that. So y'all was really like your own company as opposed to just a rap group. So prior to y'all joining Headshots, it was a little bit of a, you know, a little riff about if y'all actually was gonna get under that umbrella. So speak on being like you was like the more the leader, cause like Magic like looked at you like you had more of the stuff going on, so he kind of looked at you to like as the leader of the group, so to speak. So speak on the riff and what made you actually decide to go ahead and join Headshots.
Well, it was never really no riff. It was just a thing like I felt like, you know, I was putting up the money. It was me and two other partners. It was kind of like, you know, how when Rockefeller started off, you had Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and you had Biggs, you know, so I was more like Jay-Z because I was a rapper and a business partner. And then I had my two other partners, you know, the Don, who was my man Kyle, who's the Don, and my man Just, he was like the silent partner. So it was us three. And Magic, you know, he was part of the reason that I got with them because, you know, my man Kyle, the Don, he wanted to just manage us, but Magic didn't want him to manage us just straight up. So he was like, he would only do it if I became a partner with him. So once we agreed to that, everything was good. So we started grinding from the muscle, you know, just Still a Dime. We started off from the muscle on our own. So by the time we got to dealing with Bob, with the Bob and the Headshot, they started getting they was getting their buzz or whatever. Matter of fact, they already had a buzz for us, you know, in the area with the mixtapes, and we was doing our own thing. Like we had our hood on Smash, you know, Brewery Town, and we was already going around making our name from battling and things like that, and doing things like, you know, Club Flow. Like everybody that was in the mix you was at Club Flow back then, you know. So we was already in the mix, you know, and then we end up running into connecting with Jihad, with Joey Jihad. And we really linked up with him and started messing with him real heavy, and then we ended up messing with Bob and Bam. So. Okay,
yeah, and y'all had a nice little team at that time. Once all y'all did connect, right. I mean, and we did an interview with Bob, and we did an interview with pretty much everybody from Headshots. You know, a majority of the people that everybody familiar with. And we also did an interview with a bunch of people from Touch Money, Top Class, and stuff like that. Right. And one of the things everybody talked about was the infamous, the battle, the beef, you know what I mean, between both of the teams and all that. Yeah. And the main thing that everybody say sparked it, or was one of the things that kind of steamrolled it, was the battle with you and NH. Because it was a controversial decision at the end, because NH ended up winning, but there was people in the crowd that kind of felt like you won, and I know you probably felt like you won as well. So once they say he won, that kind of like sparked the next battle, which was between you and Kaboom, where a lot of people feel like you got over in that joint.
No, But
So
actually, the Kaboom battle was before the NH thing.
Oh, it was? Oh,
Kaboom battle was before the NH thing.
Okay.
So what happened was, after I battled Kaboom, they had a headshot.
At the hut?
Yeah, I battled the battle at the hut. I battled Boom at the hut, and then it was probably a couple weeks later after that battle, Young Bob had a headshot battle. It was a tournament. Now he had the headshot battle. It was a tournament, and and it was a bunch of guys in that joint. Like it was a bunch of dudes that was just hungry in that joint. A lot of dudes. It was me. It was Ace Inferno. You had Dose. You had Ant Live. A lot of dudes that people don't know about. That was nice back then. That was heavy with them on the battle tip. It was a lot of guys in it. So, long story short, the battle was 2 days. The battle was 2 days. So the first day, I forgot the location where the battle was at, but I think I had 1 or 2 battles, and I won my battles, and I moved on to the next round. And whoever was there, they moved on to the next round. Now NH, he wasn't even in the battle. He wasn't even there. He wasn't at the first night. He wasn't there. So the second night, the last night of the battle, we got to the to doing a drawing or whatever, and they just was like, oh, we want to put NH in it because he was there. So they put him in the battle. They put NH in the battle. So everybody doing their thing. I do my thing. I win my battles. NH win his battles. The thing that I had a problem with the battle was, now Ace Inferno, he got into a battle. I forgot who he battled, but when he got into the battle, he used one of the verses, or a battle that a rap that he used against somebody else that was on another DVD or something like that. So Ace ended up losing the battle because he used that rap. So he lost the battle because of that. So then when me and NH battle in the finals, me and NH made it to the finals. So we get in the battle. Now I believe it was either 3 or 4 rounds. So
the rules was not spit nothing.
So listen, they eliminated Ace because he used the rap already. Now when I battled NH, he used a verse that everybody knew that it was a recycled verse. So, but either what, that didn't matter anyway, because once the judges went to make their decisions, it was a split. It was a split. It was 2 judges pick me, 2 judges pick NH. So it was a tie basically. So I wanted to go another round. I'm like, let's go another round, and it can't be no tie. So he was ready to go and I was ready to go. So next thing I know, they were saying we didn't have enough time in the building. They was trying to put us out the building. So they said, okay, we're gonna let the crowd judge it. Now when we picked the crowd picked me. The whole crowd picked me. So NH started complaining. He started complaining, saying that the majority of the crowd was basically my people. That's how he made it go. So it's still a debate. He's saying he won. I'm saying I won. I'm like, I want to go another round now. So mysteriously, Young Bob get a call on the phone, and he said, okay, well, the other judge is in the crowd. He picked NH, and he won. And that's how it went. But I don't know where's the footage at. Why the footage never came out? So that was another thing I had a problem with.
Okay. So from that situation, they say that's when the competitive nature from the other people that was a part of the camps, and they start going at each other because everybody had the individual kind of. I did interviews with everybody, so everybody shared how they all got in it, and eventually, it got squashed too. But while it was going on, what was your thoughts? Like, what was your mentality on it? What was your viewpoint on it, looking back on it now? Well, while it was going on and looking at it now.
Well, while it was going on, it was just, only thing I had a problem with was when guys get on the camera and they start saying they gonna smack somebody or this and that, when they seeing things like that. Other than that, the rap, I ain't really pay that too much of a mind, just, the competitive thing with me. So other than that, this is really nothing to me.
Right. And because it was such a big thing at the time, and looking back on it now, because you see it birth somebody like Meek. Like Meek came up during that time, when the DVDs was popping because of the battle going on, and then he made it to where he made it at. So looking at it now, what's your thoughts on the Benz? Do everybody regard it as a legendary kind of back and forth, with the Meek and Reed and the Head and all of that stuff? What's your thoughts on it being a part of that situation?
I feel good about it because, I see, like with the URL, dudes is making money off it now, and I feel like I'm a part of that. that they've been able to move along and make it really into like a sport, man, where guys is able to make money off it and eat. So.
Right. And then, like I said, they had everybody told their story as far as like how it eventually got squashed, as far as like Oskino getting involved, and bring I think NH and Meek together, and then Gilly kind of brought Hattie and Reed together, and that kind of was like the beginning of everybody kind of squashing it and moving forward. So, what was your thoughts on that? Like when it finally ended, them getting involved and squashing it and stuff like that.
Well, I was already like a lot of them guys. I was already cool with. Like it was never no real beef. Like NH and Boom and all them guys. I used to talk to them guys. Or run into them. We might run into them down the gallery. They got their CDs. We got our CDs. We giving them out. And Young Hot was with them. I used to kick it with Hot all the time. He used to come down to my crib and all that. So it wasn't really no big deal when they squashed it because it wasn't no real beef or nothing like that with me.
Right.
Yeah, me and Boom ended up doing a couple of bangers together too before I fell. So.
Okay. So then, like, another thing everybody kind of talked about was once they squashed their beef with each other, they all had like internal issues amongst themselves, what kind of derailed these situations somewhat. With Touch Money in those situations was a little different because now had got booked, the Hut went down, and everybody kind of went their separate ways. But with Headshots, it seemed to be some issues within the group, and then everybody kind of like went their own way. So like, what was your viewpoint on like everybody kind of having their issues and then Headshots eventually like separating?
Well, I kind of broke off a little bit before everybody else because I started feeling like they wanted to keep us underneath them when I didn't feel like I should have been underneath anybody. When I'm paying for my own studio time and I'm taking trips and I'm doing my own. I'm basically paying my own budget. Me and my team was doing our own thing, so I shouldn't have to be up underneath anybody. I felt like I was my own boss the whole time, and I wanted to do something bigger. We had the opportunity to do a whole collaboration with everybody. To do actual album with we had the top artists in the city. We had the opportunity, but Bob, he was like, it seemed like he wanted to do it on his own. He didn't really want that help, but we had people that wanted to help us out and do a real album on the streets, and that would have killed the streets. So once I seen it wasn't really going nowhere on the business side, that's when I made the decision. I'm gonna just try to build Still a Don up and move my team. So I went my own way, and that's when whatever they had going on with them, and then it just happened.
Okay. Also, one thing Magic said too. Another thing he said y'all actually had opportunities as far as like getting a deal or something like that, like at some point in time. Yeah,
we had a couple opportunities that basically we were so young though, so we were real young, and like it seemed like every time we got close, we either had bad management or something just went wrong. But we had a couple of deals that was like right there in front of us that just fell through.
Okay. And then moving forward, some time past that, you had mentioned you did some music with Kaboom before you fell.
Right.
So you had fell in 2009 for, a situation, a homicide situation. And you've been down for ever since up until recent time, which was like a month ago. So I want to first get to like the transition for you being a rapper on the streets, having a nice little buzz, trying to do your music thing, and next thing you snatched off the streets charge for that situation. Like, what was that like for you mentally?
Well, from the beginning,